see and look through the example and exercise and do it together.
It's about Alice, Bob, and Carol.
Okay. I think we can see it now. Okay. In general, what do you think about the first topics? After learning Kaggle tutorial and doing some exercises, do you feel that you strengthen your knowledge after lecture? Or it's still not confident?
No, I think I'm getting better.
Great. My editor is loading now. Okay. Alice, Bob, and Carol have agreed to pool their Halloween candy and split it evenly among themselves. For the sake of their friendship, any candy left over will be smashed. For example, if they collectively bring home 91, they'll take 30 each and smash one. How many candles they must smash for a given haul? Okay. Alice candies. Bob candy. Okay. -1. I don't know if I did it already. No. So if 3 person get candles and 1 or 2 is left, then they need to smash these candles, right? How to check whether the total number of candies, not candles, candies is the total number of candies can be divided equally into number of people. How can we check it?
%3.
Yeah, so this will be the reminder, yes? So your code goes here, place the right hand side. Impression warning, okay. So what would be the answer? You need to sum up all candies, Alice, Bob, and Carol candies, and reminder 3, right? So was it accepted?
So I texted something like this.
Let me see. Okay.
I introduced a new variable called some candies. Yeah, anyway. So then I sum all 3 candies and then do %3 to get the remainder, which they need to smash, right? This should be the answer.
Yeah, let me check it. Ah, okay, okay. Could you please tell me what was the name of the error that you get?
I will name error.
Name, and then you read it. The name Q4 is not defined. Same? Yeah. So because so this is the function to check the code, and it's not, this function is not defined. So I think this is the error. So what we can do is we need to define it. Question. Okay. Ah, I see. I see the mistake, I think. Have you started with the beginning of your exercise, running the first cell?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Have you started doing exercises from the beginning? So if you read the instructions, so let me explain the mistake. Sorry, it will take a little bit of time, but I think it's worth to explain because it will help you to further when you do the Kaggle exercises. So last time we were given a task to complete Intro to Python on Kaggle course, and during the exercise, Adil faced the problem like this, like similar like this. Okay. First thing when you see the error is to read the error. What's the error, right? You need to understand what's wrong. So you need to read carefully this line. So this is the name error. It's type of error, and then it says name Q4 is not defined. What it means is that the program doesn't know what's Q4. And usually if it's on your local environment, it means that you need to define the function. Yes, Q4 is a function that checks your answer. But here, there is no Q4 function, right? Because it is defined already in the platform. So then I look back to the beginning of the exercise, and it says that notebooks are composed of blocks called cells. This is the cell of text and code, and this is the text is. Each of these is editable, though you will mainly be editing the code cells to answer some questions. So you only need to edit this one. And then it says to get started, try running the code cell below by pressing this button, because it will initiate the necessary functions. It will define necessary functions to check your code later on. So then after I press here, I successfully run some Python code. And I think this some Python code, they mean that the code necessary for you to check your answers. Then, for example, I run this. So now it says you are ready to start question 0. Why? Because it imported here, you see, it imported some libraries. And these libraries are necessary to establish the environment for you to check your answers. Now, when I run this code, see, it's correct. There is no mistake. And if I run this one, no mistake, yes, because I initialized the platform here in the beginning. So every time you are starting the exercises, you need to run these first cells, okay? Is it clear?
Thank you.
Great. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. I see new people, and I'm very glad that we have more people to join this week. And we already covered the operators, different types of operators, and some of the data types. And today we are going to finish the string methods, and then we will move to functions, learn about functions. Okay, I'll share my screen. No. And if you missed our first lesson, don't worry, because I'll try to cover some of the things today that we covered on the first study jam. Okay. Oops, sorry. I should start from beginning. So the first thing is string methods. Let's see the examples. I think some of you already faced or saw these functions. For example, len, that calculates the length of a string. For example, what would be the answer to the first expression? Len this. We need to know the length of our, okay, Aisha says 4. That's right, because there's 4 letters in this string. Then type 12. Integer, okay. And the last one, print hello world. What will be the result? Yeah, hello world, yeah. So all 3 are functions, the standard functions that that get the parameter here, and they give us the result, yes. And methods are functions that are called using dot notation. So this is the name of the variable, my string, and the value of this variable. So the value assigned to this variable with the assignment operator is the string. Yeah, so the variable is the type of the variable is string, and the value is Sebastian Thron. So this is the name, yeah. And we can call different methods of a string by using the dot notation. So we put the variable, then dot, and here's the list of some of the string methods, and we will cover some of them today. And I think some of you encountered them on your first Python tutorial last week. So let's see the examples. For example, we take the variable my string, then we put the dot, and method is lower. So this method evaluates whether the variable is written in lower or uppercase. Our value is written in lowercase, so the answer is true. So what would be if we save this expression into a variable, what would be the type of the variable? What do you think? The whole sequence? it was the answer to the previous question. Yeah. So if we save the result of this expression into the variable, it will be the Boolean type of variable. Yeah, because true or false are the Boolean type of variable. Aisha asks, so this method checks whether the whole sequence is lowercase. Yes, because we don't say that it's a sequence or something. We say that this method is the string method. Yeah, my string is a string. So the name says on its own, yeah, my string. And this method checks whether the string saved by this name of variable is written in lower or uppercase. Upper space is a delimit, I forgot, separator. So it's not the letter, right? The character. So we do not define space as uppercase or lowercase. It's just separator. Okay. So let's. It's a little bit confusing for you, but imagine it's just like English language, or any language. The method. What's beautiful in Python is that when you read it, it feels like you're reading some questions or statements. So here we say my string is lower, and if I ask you, is this string is written in upper or lowercase, what would you say? Not in the in terms of programming, in terms of English, it's written in lowercase, right? And you never ask English teachers, is space a lowercase or uppercase? Yeah, because we do not define space as lower or uppercase anyway. Yeah. So if the capital letter, if there was any capital letter, one or multiple, it will be false. Okay, is it clear? Thank you for your questions. Very good questions. Okay, then let's see another method, method count, and the parameter for the method is a character A. So what it does is that it calculates the number of character inside our string. Yeah, and if we count, it will be 2. Then find method returns the find method returns the index of a character. So A would be in the third index. Yes, the first index, the index of the character that it first encounters. So although we have 2 A's, the first one is in the position of 3. And last lesson, we learned that in Python, the counting starts from 0. Yeah, so we start S is 0, index 0, E is 1, B is 2, and A is 3. Yeah, and I will ask, is it language sensitive? What do you mean by language sensitive? And please, if you could ask questions, just unmute yourself. Like if you want to ask questions, unmute yourself. Sometimes I don't understand your questions.
Yes, my question is, if I type this A in a different language, let's say in French, so will it count? Will it recognize the same A or not? For example, when we type in Word, Microsoft Word, Office, it can recognize if you, for example, input a letter from a different language.
Yeah, I actually.
Sorry, if it's irrelevant, just I was wondering.
No, it's not irrelevant. I'm just thinking whether I can check it, like show you even. I have a small, I'm not sure. I think it would recognize A, but I'm not sure. Let's check it. Let's try any. Okay. For example, we say word. And then we check. And I'll type A from English keyword, and then I'll type.
There is no A in mother. Maybe O.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I'll type from Russian keyboard, okay? Oh no. And this would be English. Okay, okay. And we write here.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Oops. Okay, it will be English. And this will be Russian. Okay. And let's see. Just we didn't no output. How should we do it? Let's see. I see many messages. If you want to say something, please just unmute yourself. Okay. Okay. We will print. I understand what's problem with this, because I initialized the method. I called the method, but I didn't print the result, right? That's why we have no output, because we only see output if we, no. Okay, put display no output. Let's just delete it. So you just see me debugging my code, because I read, okay, yeah, I read through the error and see my mistakes. So we saved our variable string, yeah, mother, and we checked whether O from English keyboard or from Russian keyboard are identical for a program, and it seems not, yeah. We see that English O is recognized, but the Russian O is not recognized, yeah.
Why is -1? Why is it not here?
Because it means no,
No
like
such.
none.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for your questions. It's interesting questions. Okay. Let's go further. And if you have any other questions, please say so, because Arivati saved a screenshot. Please just
It's okay. It's for Adil.
okay.
It's the question asked by Adil. It's okay. You can just leave it.
Okay, if it's question, just unmute yourself and I'll answer it. Okay, I'll try to answer it. Let's go further. Let's do some exercises. No, I want just to explain about the string method format. So this is one of the important methods. And what it does is that it receives the parameter, for example, the integer here. And what it does is that we say to the method what it should include in the answer, yeah? For example, we want to print the statement, Mohammed has some balloons, yeah? This square brackets is important part of the format method, because it specifies where we want to include the variable. So what do you think would be the answer? So it receives the variable and we know that the variable will be in the place of square brackets. And this is the string, yeah, because we are studying the string methods. This is the string. This is the dot notation of method. This is the method, yeah. And we know that method is a function that is called by dot notation, and function receives the parameter. Parameter in our case is integer 27. So the answer would be Mohammed has 27 balloons. Perfect. Yeah. Next.
Sorry, may I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
What is this method for?
This method is to it helps us to how to say format, not format, to define the output in the way that we want to see, because we want to put the variables inside our string, for example, that is defined. And we like transfer, we call the method and put the variables into the format method, and then it will read the variables one by one and put it in the place that we want to, yeah, because sometimes if it was, for example, a loop and we wanted to change the string, like for example, do you have I have, for example, 1 ice cream, and then after a loop I have 2 ice creams and 3 ice creams. Instead of writing print statement several times and putting the, for example, variable, I can just specify that here I should put the change the variable that will change after some code, yeah, and it will print
So
as
basically
does
this
your.
is for...
It's just to format. It's just to format the string.
I mean, just not to print the same sentence many times. Yes.
Because
just keep the part which is the same. Just keep it the same, and the part which changes you.
Yeah.
Omit.
Because does your is the constant thing here.
Yeah.
But the animal or action is the variable that we can change. Animal can be cat or something, and we put here square brackets where we need to insert the variable. And for example, imagine that after this print statement, I will define animal as a cat and then repeat the print statement again. Then the answer will be, does your cat bite? Yeah.
Yes, I got it.
Maybe for the beginning, these functions or methods are how to say useless for you because you cannot imagine the way you can use it. But I hope that as we learn and start to solve some problems, you will get the sense of the application of it. Now I cannot come up with a useful application of it. Sorry. And let's do last one. So we have a string here. And so we define the string. Initially, we defined the string. And last time we didn't define the string here. Yeah, we put square brackets. And in the format statement, we just write the variable name, Maria string, then format, and put the parameters that we want to how to say transfer, I don't know the good word, to the string. Yeah, so we put math and statistics, and this would be in place of these square brackets here. So Maria loves math and statistics. And if I put 3 variables here, parameters, what do you think would be the outcome?
The same outcome.
If I put 3, okay, let's, what others think? What would be the answer?
Error.
Error, okay. Any other?
The same outcome, because there is no this curly bracket, the third curly bracket. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let's see it in the making. We say format and put, for example, yes, you're right. Okay, let's go further. Okay, let's do some practice. What happens when you call a string method is lower on the float object? For example, 13.37. So remember the example. Okay, error. Why error? Any other
Because
ideas?
it's a number.
Yeah, because
not
it's
a string.
number. Yes, yes, exactly. So is lower is the string method, and this is the float, right? Yes, good, Rati. Thank you. Adil says, please define 13. No, so the problem with this statement is that is lower is a string method. It means no matter what, no matter if we define this float or not, we cannot perform the dot method is lower to the variable float because it is the string method. Yeah. Okay. Then let's see the string method split. What it does is it splits the string into words. Yeah. And if you don't specify the separator or the max split, which is the maximum number of separated items, then it will separate the string with the space as a standard separator. So here we have a space, here space, here, here, and here. So the answer would be the list of words. See? So split method cannot require any parameter here, or it can take the parameter like the separator and the maximum split. Yeah, the number of max split. And if we specify the separator as the space, then it will separate the string when it encounters this separator, for example, this space. But if we specify how many items we want, then it will stop separating our string when it reaches the 3 items. Yeah, so the 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 items. What is the difference between? There is no difference actually. We can. I think there is in Python there is no difference. Yeah, but we can also check it. But I think there is no difference. maybe in string, in Python, strings are defined as, let's check it. I'm also interested whether it's important. So we have here the I think there is no difference. It's just the way it formats the list in the format strings in the list. Okay. Oh, I showed you the results. Okay. So instead of space separator, it can be dot, a new line character, and any other extra separator, like comma, for example. And what do you think would be the answer? Maybe you see it, you saw it already. So it would be here, 2 strings, yeah? One, the code jumped over the moon, and the other is a space because here, after the dot, we actually have a space, yep. And if we put none for a separator, it will take space as a standard separator. So whether it's none or whether it's empty, it's the same. It will consider space as a standard separator. Yeah, that's why we have the same answer as we would when we write space in the quote. Yeah. Okay, let's do practice. Here is the variable.
Sorry, can we go back again?
Yeah.
So this method separates at each space because it's written none, yes?
Yeah.
And then what is 3?
3 is the maximum of it's max split. So it's the parameter that specifies how many items we want to until what
So
item we want to separate. So we separate until third item, yeah?
Okay, it means separate until the third space. After that, don't separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you put 4, it will be over, and then the moon would be.
Yeah. That's why I couldn't understand why the spaces are kept. So now I understand. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. And let's do a practice. So this is the long string, yeah, and this slash backslash with n means the new line character. So this is actually the poem. Maybe you recognize it. If you can keep your head when all about you, and then you know that poems are usually written line with a new line, yeah, each, like there is a line and next line. So we put the backslash with n to define the line. And we have 4 tasks. What is the length of the string variable verse? We need to find the length. We need to find the index of the first occurrence of the word and, index of the last occurrence of the word you, and count of occurrences of the word you in the verse variable. And the hint is that we covered all these methods in the beginning of this study jam. Maybe you can recall it, or you can also Google it if you want. It's also fine. So the length, what would you use to calculate the length of a string? Yes, we use length. Okay, great. Let's write it in a correct way. Yeah, not just length, but how we actually write the function. And what would be the index? Okay, good, Adil. We'll also discuss next the answers, and I will say more details about the answer. Okay, index, no idea. Or how many occurrences of the word you, for example?
So in the second question, the first occurrence means what's the number? I mean, fifth word or 10th word, like this?
Yeah, so it says, what is the index? And index is the, if I could explain it to you, so index is the number associated with the value. So our string has words, and each word is written in the memory, and the number that defines the slot of a memory starts from 0. Yeah, so
Sorry, I understand, but I mean, so for example, if is
no,
0,
so I just
you
want to
is
explain
1.
from the beginning. So it means that when we are asked to say the index, it means that we need to count the index of some word, for example. Yeah, and why it says first occurrence or last occurrence, just to define what you or what end we need to seek for. Yeah, so if it says the word end and its first occurrence, then let's find it here. So this is the first occurrence, right? And what's the index of this first occurrence? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So maybe I have a mistake here, because I say that it, oh no, it's right. One. Oops. Index of the first occurrence. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 13, yeah? It will be 13. Do you understand the logic?
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Okay. And I would suggest you to Google Python string documentation now. Everyone, please do it on your computer. Because we want to find the answer to these questions, and this is the place where you would seek the answers. Python string documentation. And in this documentation, try to find one of these that you think that you don't know, for example. Or you're not sure how to solve. We have some answers here, okay. Count, find, or find, okay, good. Let's see the answers. So we have two solutions. The first is we use the len, yeah, as you already said or written, but they didn't use just print, yeah, because they wanted to have the full answer. They wrote verse has a length of something characters, and then using the format method, they put the verb, the answer, the output of the len method, yeah, here, or function, yeah. Then they use find, because find finds the first occurrence of the word, for example, or item. And we use rfind when we want to know the last occurrence. And we use count when we want to count the occurrences, for example. Yeah. Is this solution clear for you? What does it mean? Okay. And the other version of solution would be to write the constant part, yeah, that we know that we want to see in the output, and save it into the variable. And then when we print the output, we, instead of writing here the string, we write the variable and then format, and then we put everything that we need to include in these square brackets here. So we have 4 square brackets and 4 parameters here. Just different ways how to write your code, the way of thinking, and it uses the same methods: find, rfind, and count. Okay, and is everything clear about the string methods? Let's cover functions. We will cover today these 3 things: how to define function, what is the variable scope, and the documentation. And this will be our next lesson, okay? So we define function using this style, these rules. We use the keyword def, then the name of a function, for example, cylinder volume. Then function will always have the let's square brackets, the round brackets or regular brackets, and sometimes it will have some parameters, sometimes it will be empty. Then we put the colon, and after the colon is the body of the function. In the body of a function, we write everything we need to do. So here it it defines the variable pi, the float variable, and then sometimes functions will return something, sometimes it will print something, and I think this is the common things that will be in the body of the function. And if there is a return statement, which is the standard also keyword in the Python, it means that it will pass something to the when we call the function. Here it will calculate the volume of a cylinder and pass this value to something, yeah, we don't know where. After we define the function, we need to write the call statement of a function. So this function will not run unless we call it, yeah. So we call function by writing its name and if necessary, defining the parameters 10 and 3. When we call this function, it goes up here and run it, yeah. Then it will return, so in this statement, it will return the volume, which will be the result of a function and displayed in the output. Actually, it will not display it here because we have no print statement. It will just pass this value to how to say, to something when we call the function. But if we want to see the output, we want to print the output of a function, we need to write print here, or we instead can use print statement instead of return statement. I think I might explain to you in a difficult way. So let's see some examples here. I want you to understand the difference between return and print. So here is the first definition of a function, def keyword. Then we have a name of a function, the brackets, and the parameter. Yeah. Then we put a colon and start the body of a function. This function prints something, yeah, and doesn't return anything. Then we have another definition of a function with the name add10, and it returns something. And what's the difference? Let's see. When we go, when the program runs, it runs from the top to bottom. Yeah, it goes here, nothing happens. Yeah, why nothing happens? Because we didn't call the function yet. Then we go to here, 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 nothing happens because we didn't call the function yet. Okay, then we go to the line 9, and it says print the string. And this is the start of the output. So in our terminal or environment, we will see the first output would be the string calling show plus 10. Yeah. Then what we have a variable definition. Yeah. Here is the variable name, assignment operator. Then we see it is the call of a function, show plus 10 here. Yeah. So this is the call of a function. We pass the parameter 5 to the num. Yeah. So we go up here. Here num is equal to 5. We go to the print statement, the body of a function, and we calculate 5 plus 10, which will be 15. And we need to print it, yeah, because here's the print statement. So after we call this function, it will print us 15. Yeah. Then we go to another line, 11, and we print done calling. Yeah. So this was the call function. Then we go here, we print the statement. This function returned, and what will be returned? Return value 1. So when we printed the when we printed something, this is saved into our variable also. Yeah. So that's why in the format we put the parameter, the variable return value 1, and we print this function return 15. Then we print another statement with a new line character here, and we have another variable which calls our second function. Go here, and when we call to this function, it will return. So it means it will give back the value 15 here to this variable. So after we done calling, the function returned 15. Yeah. So let's see. I think we can try. Maybe I'm not sure if I done a mistake here. Let's see it in the making. So we have a function, for example, summation, some number, and we want to print number plus 10. And we have another function, subtract, example, num, and we want to return num minus 1. Then we say answer one is, so the variable is the result of calling function sum. We call function sum and put 5, and we print on here is the returned value. Sorry. Maybe it will be a mistake because we didn't return anything. Yeah.
Answer 1.
Yes, answer 1. Thank you. Answer 2. Subtract. And will be also 5. Let's copy this. Answer 2. Okay. Let's test it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. So the difference between the first and the second, I think I confused you, is that, as I said, when we call the function with the print inside our body, it will print something, yeah? 15. And the when we have the return statement, it gives back to our calling statement what we put inside the return statement. For example, here is number 4. Yeah, num minus 1, 5 minus 1 is 4, and we return it means we go back to our call statement here to the line 10, and the answer 4 is saved in the variable answer 2. But when we call the function with print statement, it will print something. Meanwhile, the function is active, but we don't return anything. Yeah, that's why nothing goes back to the line 7. Nothing is saved in the variable. That's why we have a non output here. And if I change it to return, and then we put the same parameter here, what would be the answer? It will print the statement first, and then it will return the answer to our calling statement here and save it in the answer 1 variable. And then when we print the statement, it will say, here is the returned value 15. Yeah, let's check it here. So it first printed the number, and then when it returned to our calling statement, we print the whole sentence. Is it clear? I think I have another example to show you. Oh, we don't have enough time.
Can I ask something? Maybe.
Yes.
Is this the common way in Python too? I mean, if you have string and you have something you want to fill with other variables, is this the best way in Python to use dot format thing?
Dot format thing? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if can you directly replace variables in strings?
Replace variables with strings.
Great.
Let's see the example. You mean in this example?
Yes,
Instead of
yeah. Instead of typing format answer 1, can we directly put something in the string itself?
You mean here, like format
Yes,
1,
yes.
yeah?
Maybe another way or.
Yeah. Okay. So as you see, it's already green, yeah? Why? Because it's in the string, in the quotes, so it become just a part of a string here, yeah? So this is not the way.
Maybe we first
let's
convert
try.
to, sorry,
Uh-huh,
maybe
uh-huh.
we first convert the result to string and print to string.
Nice
This
idea.
variable.
Nice idea. And I already give you a hint. So this is good. One thing is we need to convert it to string. That's right. Yeah. Another thing, remember what operations we can do with strings? Good question, because
Unite them.
yes, we can sum up them, right? We can write string, yeah, conversion, and oh, yeah. Answer one. Let's try it this way, and yeah, let's try first this. Yeah, it works. Yeah, but we forgot that we also need to take care of spaces and
After
put
value.
yeah
Maybe
yeah
after value.
yeah, that's good. After value, or we could just, I want to show you other ways like this. Yeah, some another space character. Yeah, but this your answer or your suggestion would be more clear or beautiful. Yeah, so this is another way that how we can print it, and format is just different way. Yeah, so I think who missed the first
Thank you.
first lesson, then we covered the type conversion and some operation on strings. Thank you for your question, Abdullah. And let's go. If you have other things to do, you can leave the meeting. But if you have around 10 minutes or so, I would like to just finish with function a little bit. So we have the default arguments, which means we can specify, for example, radius is 5. Yeah, instead of passing the parameter with the calling statement. Yeah, here, for example, we have the same function that calculates the volume, but we already know the radius and we will only need to know the height. So when we call the function, we'll only specify one parameter, which is 10. And when we calculate the volume, it will take height from the parameter that we pass to the function, and 5, which is predefined already. Yeah, but if we want to refresh or renew the radius, for example, it turned out that after careful examination, the radius is not 5 but 7, then you can still pass the new parameter to the function, and it will rewrite the default value of the parameter. So instead of 5, it will be 7. Okay. So another thing that you need to know is that we can pass arguments by position. So if we put 10 and 7, it means that height will be 10 and 7 will be the radius, and not vice versa. Yeah, or by name, height and radius, like this. But I think this way is only used when we I don't know, it's a little bit long way, right? It's easier to just write the values themselves instead of defining it. But it can be used when we define a new variable, for example. It's not written anywhere. We say height is 10. But I rarely see this format. Okay, let's do practice. I think let's do this practice. It's shorter. We need to write function named readable time delta, and this function should take one argument. Sorry, when I say parameter, it means actually argument. I just forgot this word, argument, and integer days. So we know how to define function. Yeah, we have a def keyword, then we have a name of a function, then we have brackets, and inside brackets it can specify or require arguments, or they will be empty, no argument. Yeah, in our case the function should take one argument, which is days. So we can imagine this would be integer. Yeah, then it will have a return statement, return a string that says how many weeks and days there is. For example, if it's 14 days, then it's 2 weeks and 0 days. Yeah. And when we call a function, we will write name of a function and pass the argument 10, for example. Yeah. And the answer will be 1 week and 3 days. Let me help you. If anyone wants to try. Okay, def readable time delta days. Okay, then we put colon. Yeah, and don't forget about the colon. And then we write the body of a function. Yeah, that's right. Good start, Adil. Yeah, and how can we calculate the number of weeks and days? And how can we pass the argument into the print function so that it will give us this answer? It is related to what you asked in the beginning about one method, string method. So to calculate number of weeks, we just need to divide the number into on 7, yeah, and then the rest is the number of days. So if it's 10, we divide 10 by 7. It will be 1, yeah. So it's 1 week, and then the rest. If how to calculate the rest? It is related to Adil's question about the first tutorial. So we need to use percent sign, which is modulo sign, to calculate the reminder. Okay, let me help you. So this is the function. We have a key word def, then the name readable time delta, then we have bracket and argument here, days. And don't forget about colon. So this is the definition of a function. And now let's write its body. Yeah? The body is also definition, but we already defined our function. Then we use the 2/ divisions operator, which calculates as the integer value. Yeah, so 10 divided by 7. If we just use one division sign, then 10 divided by 7 will be the float. But if we want to extract only integer, we need to use 2/ division signs. Yeah. And we calculate the number of days using the modulo sign. And then we return the string using the format method. Yeah, we define here words that are constant, weeks and days, and put square brackets where we want to put our variables, weeks and remainder. Okay. So Adil, thank you for your solution. One thing that I want to say is about the days. That you've made a good mistake actually. you use days to, actually not, and so it's all right, not a mistake. Why you put days? So, okay, return, I see. Format weeks and month days. Okay. I think it's correct. So don't forget to refresh the material from the first lecture or from the Kaggle website about the operators, different types of operators. Let's skip this quiz, and I would like to say the last thing about the variable scope. So we have the defined function, sum function, and inside the function we defined a variable word with the value hello. Yeah, and when we wanted to print word, it gives us an error. Why? Because everything defined inside the function's body has the scope within body. What means the scope? It means that we cannot retrieve data from variables inside that are written inside the function unless we return it. Yeah, that's why we need to return something that we want to use later. We can use it by saving it in a variable or printing it somewhere. Yeah, but if we for example, imagine if we have two functions and each function has the word each function has the variable word, yeah, the same. There is no error. Why? Because the word variable is created inside this function, and its scope ends when we start new line. Yeah, here. Then we define word in another function, and its scope is only within this function. Yeah. How Python know the end of a function? I think it's also related to the question asked last time. So in Python, there is no square brackets. Remember, in Kotlin, we had square brackets. So in Kotlin language, we know the end of a function when the square brackets end. But in Python, the tab, yeah, or the space here is very important because it shows the body of a function. And when we go, for example, let me just show you quickly on the here. Let's do it like this. Adil, who asked it? Let's go with Adil and then word. And I will comment this for now and then test run. So error. Why error? Because this print statement is it belongs to the function sum. This print statement does not belong to the function. It is outside of the function's body. Although I have no line here, right? This would be more clear, but this is not clear for you. Yeah, but because it doesn't have this space, yeah, the fourth line, the computer knows that this is where function body or scope ends. Yeah, and if I put a tab here and I try to test, there will be a mistake. Why? Because we print something, the word that is not defined. Yeah, I can put it like this. And do you think there will be an error? Yes, because we didn't pass this variable into the function argument, right? Let's check it. I think there will be an error. Oh, no error. Print word. Although we didn't pass it, yeah? It's interesting. Num and word. Let's try it like this. And put here print. Okay, it's a mistake. Word. So we see here the function sum missing one required positional argument word. Yes, because we didn't pass it here. You see, sum function, and we only passed 5, and we should have passed word. Now it's ready. How do you check? Okay. Now I got it. Why you don't? So the variable in a function only live in the function. Yes, it can call from outside the function, doesn't affect the whole script. Inside function. Yes, so when I understood why we actually didn't have. So here, let me just show you again. If I test run, no, like this. So this was before I introduced. So I saw that, okay, why it printed us audio here, yeah. We didn't pass anything. So I think this is because the print function actually thinks that it's not in the scope of our function. And let me show you the practice to explain it. I tried to, so maybe here. We have a, can you see the slide? So we have a variable and we want to print the statement. So it will print us the variable string 1 here, which is defined in the function's scope, not this one, yeah? But if we try to, for example, this is another mistake, maybe upper. Oh, here. So we have defined variable hello, and we wanted to print this variable inside the function, yeah? This will, I think, works fine because word is, so I understand, because it's the globe variable. Global variable means it is defined in outside the function and it can be accessed everywhere, inside the function or outside the function. But if the variable is defined inside the function, it only can be accessed inside the function only. Yeah, that's why the word is printed, because word is defined in the global scope outside the function. Okay, is it clear? And And last practice is about this one, this example. So this will be an error because we call the function and we put argument, but when we define function, we didn't specify that there should be an argument. Yeah, that's why although we define string, the variable, although we use to print the string that we defined inside the function, we cannot print it because we didn't specify the argument. So what you need to remember about the function definition is that when we define function, we use def keyword, we use name, the brackets, and colon statement. And brackets are, the inside brackets, maybe two options. We might define arguments if we need to. For example, here we need to have arguments, or we don't define when we don't need. For example, in the example like this, we don't need to specify arguments because we have everything defined inside the function, and we access these variables inside the function. Yeah, we don't need to call something and put the variable there. So this is the main thing that you need to remember. And also about the scope, the variable scope. So everything defined outside the function can be accessed everywhere. But when we define something inside the function, it only can be accessed inside the function unless we return it with the return statement. And also in this example, they want to teach us that when we this statement, when we want to, for example, change the string one, this string, yeah, for example, we need to specify argument. Then we call function with the argument, and for example, we want to add something to the string, we save it or we just print it like the argument, yeah, plus something. So if you want to change the global variable, we cannot do it inside the function. We create new variable, we change the argument and print or return it, but the global variable stays the same. So this is all that we wanted to cover today. Sorry for taking a long time. And as usual, if you want to strengthen your knowledge about functions, I highly recommend you to proceed to the second tutorial, Kaggle tutorial, about function and help and seeking help. So this one. So this is it for today. Thank you for your time and for wonderful questions today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. There's someone who joined us today. Could you please introduce yourself? What's your name? How can I call you?
I think people are out.
Oh, it's Dimaral.
Yes,
You have your name in Korean? I thought it's new person.
Oh no, it's me.
Nice name.
Aya,
Yeah.
Aya, could you please send me PPT?
The yeah, maybe I do it. I also